Hey, what is going on, guys? This is Igor here, and welcome back to the second episode of the Salem question and answer time. Last time I did this last week, I answered a few questions for you guys. We were talking about a couple of things, and I asked you guys to post in the comment section down below and let me know some questions that you guys might have. Maybe if you even come across something that you just can't seem to get answered, and nobody's really paying attention or anything like that, please let me know, because I try to make sure that everyone gets attended to when it comes to their Salem questions and concerns. I also thank my subscribers and everyone that watches my videos for helping out everybody else. So chances are most of the questions I'm going to answer today have already been answered by my subscribers, and I appreciate you guys for doing that. On a first note, before I get started, I want to tell you that it's in the works, but I do have a Facebook and a Twitter now up, and I'm going to start eventually live streaming. So if you guys want to get in on that, I suggest follow the Twitter, like me on Facebook. I'll be posting times and when that stuff's going to be going down, and so you guys can come in and check out the live stream and listen to me ramble on and just play the game, and I'll have the chat open so that you guys can ask me questions. I'll answer some questions and stuff like that. So you guys should definitely do that so I can get that ball rolling on that one. And so we're going to get started here. I set up a couple of things. Some of it's just going to be explanation. Some of it's going to be show and tell. So the first question is, let's see, it comes from the Random Finn, and he asks, hey, could you explain trading for us? And yes, I can. That is an interesting topic to talk about. Trading is very, very weird. Now, the reason why I say it's very weird is because really it plays off the honor system. So let's say I need to regenerate my biles here. I'm only at 7.7 phlegm. I'm only at 33 black bile. I'm only at 33 yellow bile out of 45. So I'm getting a little low. So what we're going to do, we're going to travel to Boston. And I'm going to explain this whole process now. I've already set something up. I'm doing this all myself. So now that we're in Boston, let's just say I'm standing around Boston. And I'm going to make everybody laugh here, so everyone's going to be like, whoa, wait a minute, what? Just to kind of mess with everybody. So basically, to actually start trading, what you have to do is you have to let people know that you want to trade. So let's say I think I want to buy pumpkin pies. So I say in the area chat, WTB, or you can put buying. WTB, if you don't know, means want to buy. You could also put buying. I'll just put buying. Buying 2 pumpkin pies, paying 400 silver. And watch what happens. So, now this would never happen in real life, so don't think you can sell pumpkin pies for 400 silver. Watch, somebody's going to reply to that. But anyway, so basically, let's say, this guy over here, this dude in the giant hat, he decides that he turns to me and says, I have 2 pumpkin pies. Now, once again, I'm doing this all myself, so it'll take a minute. So, I say, I have 2 pumpkin pies. Now, at this point, that really is where the honor system comes into play. These little barrels that you see around Boston are actually, if you click on them, you see trade cont. Basically what it means is it's a trade container. So this is what you would use to trade items, basically. So in order to do this, you'd basically say, okay, or something. And one of you will initiate it. You'll walk up to this trade container. Now you can see the little window opens up, and he will walk up to the trade container, and he'll probably wait. It'll be awkward and empty for a minute. I'm not even at the right trade container. So you'll both be on the trade container. I'm trying to do this all myself, and it's horridly painful. Now let's say he can put 2 pumpkin pies in there. Now at which point you can either steal them, and you'll be marked as a thief, or you can give him his silver. Now how you have to do that is you actually have to walk away from the barrel, and you cannot do it while you're at the barrel. So you have to walk away from the barrel, you have to right click your purse, and you have to put it in your inventory. You can't do it while it's equipped to you. You have to hit take. You have to right click and hit take, and when you do so, you can, for how much you want to take out, 455. Well, you can only take out a maximum of 100, so you're going to have to do this 4 times. Hopefully they change it. So do this 4 times. You know what? Screw this. I'm just going to do it twice because it's pointless. I'm doing this by myself. So you go back up to the trade container, and you'll put the pies in, or you can put the silver in first. Either way, when you put the pies in, basically what will happen is you put the pies in, and you guys already know where this is going, and you put in your silver. Now, I take my pies, he takes my silver. Now, the trade has been complete. You proceed by saying TY, port back home, do whatever you got to do. Now, what do you do if you get ripped off? Well, there's a couple of different things that you can do. Now, let's say this guy, I'm going to just completely reset the trade here. Let's say that the trade hasn't started, you got your money ready, and you decide, hey, I'm going to put my silver in first. If this guy takes your silver and then runs away with it, you've just lost out on that much silver. That's what we call a scammer. So what you can do to prevent this, now, unfortunately, it's going to happen. It's happened to me. It's happened to a lot of people. The better thing that you need to know is how can you further prevent this from happening. So what you can do is you can actually utilize the memorization system, which means you right-click him, memorize. He doesn't know that I'm doing this. This is totally only on my side. Now, when you first start off, it will say just, question mark, question mark, question mark. That's what it starts off as. What you can then do is you can type scam artist, hit enter, and, well, hit enter, or set, or something. Okay, well, apparently it's not working. I don't know why. Oh, it's probably because maybe I should do it this way. But the whole point is, in the end, somehow... Okay, well, we'll try this again. I need to forget him somehow. So this might be a ender problem, I don't know. But I can't even invite myself, more or less. So, but yeah, I mean, you can utilize this system, and you can actually make use of it by, marking those targets as scammers or as bad people. So that's pretty much how you trade. Now, on the other end of it, you could do it the other way around, which is what I'm going to do so I can get my silver back. You'll both go up to the trade container, put the silver in, and then, I take my pumpkin pies anyway, because I'm going to regen some of my bios here. And there we go. And I have my silver back. I took his pumpkin pies. I'm a scam artist. Oh well, I'm over it. And so that's pretty much how you trade. That was a large amount of rambling for that because I had a lot of problems with my buddy list and so on and so forth. But that is pretty much the idea of trading. I wanted to fully go through that with you so that you guys could understand that, the trading, it is kind of shady, if you will. It's very much goes off of the honor system, so you can't just plop down, say, okay, well, I'm going to trade, let's do this safely. Now, there really is no safe way of trading at the beginning. You just kind of have to utilize that memorization system, make sure you're marking people, and mark friendlies, mark, people that are scam artists, let other people know that those people are scam artists, stuff like that, so it'll help out a lot of people a lot better. And moving right along, so I'm not babbling on about one thing for too long, the next question actually comes from Reformy, and they ask, what is the easiest way to kill a deer? Now, I've got asked this quite a bit, and I'm actually going to make, I'm going to be making a video completely separate on how to kill things. I'm going to do all of them, cricket, rabbit, deer, beaver, probably not bear because I'm terrified of them. But anyway, starting with how to kill a deer. Killing deer is, you have to understand how the deer works. You have to know how much health they have. You have to know how much damage you do, stuff like that. Now, at 45 yellow bile, I do roughly 11 damage, something like that. So I know that a deer has 15 health. You can look this up on the wiki. You can look anything up about animals and stuff on the wiki. But I know that deer only have, 15 health. So I know that I can two-shot them. Now, it may sound easy to do in the grand scheme of things, but honestly, it's not that easy. The reason why it's not that easy is you have to understand how the mechanics of a deer work. If you get, I think, more than 5 tiles away from them, they rush you and they charge you for 10 damage. So even me, at 44 blood, I can still get knocked out by a deer if I run away. So the thing you have to understand about fighting a deer is that you have to hug the deer. Like, I literally turn on wander mode, so I'm moving rather quickly, and I'll just show you here how this works. It's actually quite ironic that that this even happened like this. Usually I have trouble finding deer. Oh, there's another one down there. But anyway, so basically what I do is I have my guard on number 8, and I have thrust on number 5. So I'll turn on my guard, I'll go up to the deer, thrust, and hug the deer. I could have probably hit him again, but hug the deer. And all it's going to do is eventually it's going to come back and attack you, at which point is your turn to attack, or it's just going to stop moving altogether like that. So just to show you, I'll show you what happens if you run away from the deer. What happens when you run away is you get a certain distance away and it charges you. Oh wow, he blatantly missed, but I'll show you once what happens when they charge you. So do not run away from deer, and if you are going to run away from deer... Oh, missed me again. Look at that. I'm getting super lucky with this deer. However, you can also try and time it like this. Oh no, I didn't, but that was only 5 damage. But yeah, I mean, they can be quite vicious if you're not paying attention. Yeah, there was 5. I have guard on too, so it makes a little bit of a difference. But this deer is completely screwing with me right now because I'm trying to talk and fight at the same time. But the basic concept of fighting a deer is just to hug the deer. You have to make sure you're staying near it, behind it, by it at all times. This deer might knock me out. I doubt it. I'll get him eventually. And oh, what? I missed? How did I miss? This deer is completely screwing with me right now. Anyway, yep, there we go. So, dead deer. And you've just killed a deer. Now, it took me a lot longer than it normally does, and it took me a lot more biles than it normally does, mainly because I was sitting there trying to explain it and show the thrusting thing, and it got way too many attacks off on me. But at any rate, that's pretty much how you kill a deer. It's not really the easiest way to kill a deer, but it's the most effective way. Now, the best way I can put it is if you're going to try and go for two-shotting a deer, you're going to have to be looking at least being at 30 biles. At 30 biles, you do 10 damage, somewhere in there. I think it's 10. So if they only have 15 health, you can hit them twice, you know, with fencing and stuff like that, and it will kill them. Now, however, you can do it at like 15, somewhere in there, because you'll actually do right around 6 damage. So it'll take you, 3 hits opposed to, whatever else. Now, however, you have to watch out for the charging move. You have to watch out for when they, hit you with their antlers. I mean, all that does damage, and you got to have guard on at all times. It's very imperative, because in that case, I would have been dead had I not had guard on, because it would have done double the damage that it normally does. So, honestly, that's about the easiest way to kill a deer. I don't know how any better else way to explain it other than that. I mean, there's not a whole lot to it. So, I can't really say much else on the how to kill a deer. That you just kill it. Practice makes perfect. Keep fighting, keep practicing. If you keep getting knocked out, don't get frustrated. Keep at it, and eventually you figure it out. Now, the thing I do like about Ender's Client is that you don't have to click thrust, and then point with here. Normally you would have to do it like this. You would have to click thrust, and then you would have to point in the direction you want to go, which is horridly annoying and way too distracting. So when you get Ender's Client, you can actually just click your buttons like you would in an MMO. It's, something like that. Like I can just hit 5 and my mouse is pointing here, I will thrust here. If I hit 5 with my mouse pointing down here, I will thrust down here. So it makes fighting a little bit easier. So just keep at it, keep practicing, and eventually you'll get it, and you'll be able to kill everything with ease, and it won't even bother you anymore. So that about covers it for that question. The next couple of questions are rather easy. They're going to be simple for me to answer, so I'll not be taking up any more of your precious time. But the third question comes to us from Waterblade Ninja, and he says, how do you claim? Claiming can be kind of confusing, although it is rather simple when you get it down to the nitty-gritty. The reason I say that is because all you need to claim, you need to get settling. Well, first you need to get hiking, which is right here. It's one of the first few that you can get. You have to get Lore of the Lumberwoods. That unlocks hiking. You get hiking, that'll unlock settling. And once you get settling, which is down here, yep, settling right there. And you can see it takes a few things to, a few pumped up things to get it. But once you do get it, you will be able to stake a claim. Now, how do you do this? Well, the first thing that you have to do is you have to go to Boston. You have to have 150 silver. And that's, yeah, I know that's quite a bit. But once again, we'll go to Boston. I'll show you what it looks like. I'm going to go through this, so there are no questions about the questions being asked. Now, you go to buy in the stall, and you see the writ of homesteading, which is 150 silver. So you need 150 silver to claim anything. So we're going to travel back home. And then once you get back home, now let's say theoretically you have your writ of homesteading ready to go. It's, you're ready to slap down that claim. So the first thing that you do, I can do it in here. So we're going to go out here. Just a moment. We're going to go out here, and then you go to build. You go to buildings and structures, claims and defenses, and you pop down a stake claim, and it's this little kind of square stone hedge looking thingy. And when you pop it down, well, the ground is not flat enough. Awesome. That's super cool. See if I can find a flat spot. There we go. When you pop it down, you see you only need 5 stones and 1 writ of homesteading, and that will build your claim. You will have claim to that claim. You will be able to change it. You'll be able to play with it. You'll be do so on and so forth. Now, once you get a claim, your claim only is 5 by 5 square blocks. So it's rather small. It's very tiny. It's not big. What you have to do is now once you stake that claim, you go here, and here is your staked claim. Now, you can extend it north, south, east, or west, and you can also assign permissions to people that are allowed to do different things, and you can select whether or not to make it your homestead. So what do we do here? Now you can extend it north. You can see the light green popping up here. I can extend this north for as far as I want, and this will be my claim. Now it does cost silver, as you can see. It's 0, 43, 86, 129. I mean, it costs silver for every time you hit that button, and it does depend on how big your claim is. I have a rather large claim. One on the north, was 43, but now if I go, let's go west. It's only 25 because the width of my claim is not very big here, but it is rather long, as you can see, so it does cost a little bit more. Permissions, basically simple, select your color. If I want to be able to make, teal or, turquoise here, be able to do everything, you click trespassing, theft, vandalism, click buy, and they now have the ability to do everything. Once you exit out, you come back in, go to there, they now have the ability to do everything. So when you do that, I wish I could show you, but the buddy list is broken. You can actually assign colors to different people, and that's basically how you make people be able to come on your claim, go off your claim, steal things, destroy things, so on and so forth. So that's basically what it takes to stake a claim. It's fairly simple once you do it, and it's really easy. So the next question, our fourth question, comes from Zazutero Official. I think that's how you say it, Zazutero Official. And they ask, how long does it take skins to dry in the drying frame? Simple, easy answer, 8 hours. Whether it's bears, deer, rabbit, it doesn't matter. Beaver, it's 8 hours for everything. So it could be, a rabbit or it could be a bear. It's going to take 8 hours regardless. I think somebody answered that already, and I thank you for it, but I figured I would answer it anyway just in case anybody in the future looks this up. The next thing that I'm going to talk about is extremely long. I know I've already been babbling on for 20 minutes, but this one is going to be another, I guess you could say, it's going to go back into another video I did before. But this next question comes from Game Incredible, and they ask, what items can I best use to level up my humors, and what is the most efficient way? Now, I've done a video about this one already, but I'll briefly go into explaining the beginning things to use to level your humors around, 5 to about 15 or so. It's pretty simple once you get it down. Blood is very easy. Berries on a straw works amazingly. Whenever I start a new character, the first thing I do is make a bunch of berries on a straw, get your blood up to about 8, 9, and then work on everything else. Now, once you get to the 10 range, it gets kind of more difficult to do it with berries on a straw. So once you have small game hunting and you have some blood, you got a little bit of yellow bile, you can actually start hunting crickets. Once you get the crickabob, is what it's called, I can actually show you at least what that looks like. So when you go into craft, it's in food, and then you go to forage and free range, and Crickabob is right there. It's 1 dead warp bite cricket, 2 of any mushroom, and 1 sharpened stick. And the Crickabob is amazing for blood. I mean, you won't. I've used the Crickabobs even at 44 to level blood. They're amazing, and they're really easy to craft. Once you have mushroom hunting, you find tons of mushrooms. You never find a shortage for mushrooms, so you'll always be able to get that blood. Phlegm, as far as I know right now, the only things that you can forage for decent phlegm are milkweed roots and wild garlic, but it does get much better once you can start hunting rabbits. Rabbit cuts and steaks are the best things for early on phlegm. They're literally straight phlegm. They're hardly anything else. And you should be able to kill a rabbit with 5 to 7 yellow bile easy, and you'll only really be able to get cuts when you first start, but once you get the ability Butchery, which I can show you what it takes to get that. Butchery takes 1,750 hunting and gathering, 1,700 pots and pans, and 1,250 stocks and cultivars. So it does take a little bit, but that's what allows you, it says Butchery allows you to cut steaks. So once you can get rabbit steaks, they become much more easy to raise phlegm, stuff like that, so you should have no problem getting to 10 or 15 with just that alone. Now, the next one, which is a bit confusing, which is yellow bile. Basically, you should get mushroom hunting early on as possible. That's it, plain and simple. There is no gray area to this. It's fairly cheap, and I just made a new character that has mushroom hunting, and I only have like 10 biles. So, I mean, you can get mushroom hunting really early on, so I definitely recommend it. Once you do get it, you get the ability to craft shrooms on a stick, which gives a lot of yellow bile and a little bit of black bile in there, and then you find lavender bluets, and that's the bonus to having the mushroom hunting, is lavender bluets are a mushroom. Now, lavender bluets give blood and yellow bile. So when you get high enough, you get to a point where you have to use both because one isn't enough to level it up, and chances are you're going to find yourself going, well, I keep getting black bile, and then I get yellow bile, and then I get blood, and then I get, so what you have to do is you have to use both, but you have to use both smart. Now, the reason why I say this, and this is where it does get confusing, is the shrooms on a stick uses, it gives you yellow bile and black bile in pretty equal amounts. So if you use just that over and over and over again, you're probably going to get to 50-50 whether you get yellow bile or black bile. So how do we change this? You throw lavender bluets in there. Lavender bluets give you blood and yellow bile. So basically what you end up with is you end up with 2 shots of yellow bile, 1 shot of black bile, and 1 shot of blood. So essentially, if you do it right, any of the other bars should never be able to fill. It should only be yellow bile that's filling, because everything else just doesn't get enough. So like I said, it's super confusing, and the only thing I can tell you is practice, practice, practice. Keep doing it, keep trying, keep experimenting with different things, and eventually you will get it, I promise. And then black bile is super easy. Blackberries, that's it. I mean, go to blackberry bush after blackberry bush and just collect an inventory full of blackberries. You can get to 8 black bile easy that way. Once you get to 10, it does get a little bit more difficult because the variance is horrid on, an entire inventory full of blackberries. So once you get mushroom hunting, you'll start seeing more witches hats, which are very useful for black bile. It's almost instant provided you get it. Like I said, I'll put a link to I'll put a link to the video of my gluttony in this video, so that if you want to check out the tutorial, it explains late game gluttony, what I use to get my humors up, and it also explains the beginning when I started. So it explains both of those, and just use that as I guess a ground, and then just go from there. So that's pretty simple. It's not too hard. It's really easy to do once you figure it out. And that's all the questions I really have. Well, number one, I have time for. Number two, that was really all the questions that I thought would be beneficial to, to answer, that I haven't already answered, or that someone hasn't already answered. So once again, I hope you guys, like me on Facebook, follow me on Twitter. I'll be doing live streams where you guys can come in, and I don't care, ask me how long my hair is. I don't really care. Just, you come in and hang out. Maybe I might be gracious enough to let a few of you play with me if you would like. I'm kind of testing the waters. I'm thinking about, starting not my main character. You guys don't get my main character, but I might, start a new character. We can wander around and collect stuff and do our do something and just kind of hang out. So, like I said, guys, if you like what I do, click the subscribe button. Follow me on Twitter. Like me on Facebook. They'll be developing more as time goes on. And hopefully this settled out a lot of things for you guys. Thanks a lot for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.